Now we're going to work on adding some follow through in the upper body. Starting from the beginning of the animation, if we go ahead and hit play, let's notice something right after frame 55. Of course, the animation stops, giving us dead frames. So we need to have the character moving all the way to our last frame, frame 100. Okay, we can't have these dead frames in here or these still frames. Otherwise, that's going to lead to a dead or boring animation. Okay, and an unattractive one. So we got to have our character constantly moving, just as we would constantly move. So let's bring back our visibility of our control curves, and we're going to start with our base motion from the center of gravity and the translate Z of it. So let's go to the translate Z, hit F, and begin. And we want to get a feel of how our motion afterwards is gonna be based off of what we already have. So when we hit play, we'll just get a feel of how our motion looks and pose accordingly. So let's say we go to about frame 77, and since he was moving forward here from about frame 45 to 55, on frame 77 we'll have him move slightly back. Okay, he's going to be rocking back and forth here, just ever so slightly, not much at all. And then we could go ahead and scrub back and then just hit play to see if we like the feel of that. Try it again, hit play. Okay, and that's looking pretty good, but one thing we're getting is this mechanical motion where the character just moves up and then moves back immediately. Where what we'd want to have happen is the character to move up a little bit more and then start moving back. Well, how are we going to achieve that? Well, simple, by adjusting our tangency here. Okay, so on this key on frame 55, we could get a better view of it, utilizing the Alt Shift and right mouse button, clicking and dragging, and we can just take this key or the tangency, the left half, and middle mouse button, click and drag down, so we get a little bit more of this arc here. And what that's going to allow us to do is have the character move up a little bit further and then start moving back. If we go ahead and notice that when we scrub past, great. So now when we go ahead and hit play, notice the motion's much better there. Okay, so let's continue. And let's say we have him move forward at about frame 97. So since he was moving back here, the follow through will have him move forward. So on frame 97, it's just going to be real slightly forward. Let's see how this looks when we hit play. Scrubbing back. Alright, great. That's looking pretty good. And then all the way until the end of our animation on frame 100, we'll just go there and have him move ever so slightly back. Just a tad bit back, just like that. And then we'll even go to this key and see if we moved it too much. Alright, then we could even hit play to check it out, hiding our curves and focusing more on our perspective. Let's hit play. Okay, so it looks pretty good from our workspace, but let's go ahead and render off a play blast, so we're not always relying on our workspace, but we can see more accurately how our animation is going to look. Here it is. Alright, great. So our translate Z motion is coming along. We've got some good rocking back and forth, but it looks a little bit off because we need to add a few more fixes. So let's do that. We'll go to the visibility, bring that back of our control curve, select the center of gravity, and let's go ahead and go into our perspective and graph view. And right now we'll go to the rotate X and focus on it. So we have a few things to change here. For one, let's edit this curve on frame 45 and just basically have a better flow in our tangency here, like so. And then for the follow through, just like what we've been doing with the translate Z, let's add some for the rotate Y. Okay, so we can rock back and forth. And for this, what's going to happen is the rotate X poses, the poses we're about to set, are going to come pretty much before the translate Z in this situation. Okay, so on frame 70, we'll go there and let's have him move slightly forward since he's moving back here. So for the follow through, we'll have him again just move slightly forward. Alright, and then back as he's moving forward on about frame 86. So go there and have him move slightly back. Great. And then on frame 100, we'll have him move ever so slightly forward. The follow through afterwards, and probably not even as much. Let's select this key on frame 100, hit F, and take this key and move it down a little bit more. Alright, so let's see how this motion's looking if we go ahead and render off a play blast. So again, we'll find a nice view and start one off. How about from here? And here it is. Alright, great. It's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and work on adjusting a few more of our tangents before we wrap up the follow through for the upper body for right now. So bring back our control curves, go to the perspective and graph view, and let's go to the translate Y F curve. And we'll do an adjustment also on frame 45, where we just get a better blend out of our F curve here. Alright, excellent. So now the character is going to come up a little bit more smoother than he is right now. Okay, so if we go back into a play blast and check that out, we'll get to see how our results look. So let's go ahead and do that. Here it is. Wonderful. Okay, well there is the follow through for the upper body, and we've got our character moving all the way to the end of the animation. So we've removed those dead frames, but if we notice from the play blast, we still have much more work to do as far as the upper body goes. For the follow through for it, we've got to animate the rest of the back as well as the head, get that moving around so we could get some more natural, believable motion going on. So that does wrap up this lesson, and in the next lesson we're going to work more on animating the back.